of that. And I get nothing. Last year, we traveled 403,000 miles. Did you guys know that? I'm still working on 2009 as my newest car. Over 50,000 miles is the least amount I have on any of them. I have calls, actual calls we went on last year, if you want to hear that, 19,830 something. Actual calls that we were given to take care of, whether it be traffic things or whatever, dispatch. Got it from dispatch on the way up here, 73,674. Call Christian County, see if they do. They don't, I'll guarantee it. Yes, they're working on less people than we are, but they've got less call volume, they've got less crime done than we did. As far as I know. I can't say that, I can't speak that to fact because I don't really know. I also presented you with the facts that I did some searching, and I know you say that we give more money out of general revenue, and you added into it, I believe, when you add into the jail improvement fund, to run that jail than most counties. You remember back in November, I think it was, I gave you the statistics that Lincoln compared to Newton, Lawrence, Pettis, Scott, and Pulaski County are all pretty close. We had 640 square miles, as does Newton, 625 for Lawrence. I'll only do the top three because they're right there. We have 52,000, and so does Newton, 40 for Lawrence. You gave me 400,000, which ended up being 700 and something because you had to go ahead and provide what you budgeted. Let's see, Newton County gets $2.8 million for their total budget. By the way, mine was 4.0 last year, 4.038, I believe. Out of which I got 400,000 from general revenue. Newton was 2.8, which they got 2.8 out of general revenue.
Do they have
These are
sales
coming
tax?
from the sheriff. No, they did not answer on that one. Lawrence County, 1.1, which they got 1.1 out of general revenue, no sales tax.
Right.
Like I said, I just do the top three. So those are comparative, and they're getting everything out of there. And I guess what I'm trying to say, sales tax, you brought that up yesterday, I believe. Somebody did. I don't know who did. $2.1 million is what we have budgeted for revenue of sales tax. We've had this conversation before. If I had the $2.1 million to use for law enforcement only, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
We would not. Can I do that? No, I can't, because I still have the obligation of running the jail, which we all know is the deficit here, the one that's sucking the money.
Right.
It's not the food that's sucking the money. Maybe it's a small part.
The foot, when we're talking about 1 and 2 people positions, I really believe your $50,000.
If I got that in food, excuse me for interrupting, but if I got that in food, if I saved that in food, we'd go for another jailer, because I'm still behind federal standards for my jail.
And you still have ICE prisoners.
Yes, I do.
But bottom line is, we have to hire security now. On January, you gave me a thing that you committed to spend.
Actually, I gave you that in December.
Okay. We asked for a revision very late December or January, but you committed. You said I'm going to spend $181,450, which is enough to provide the bailiff and the front door security as we had all of last year. Because it's what
Okay, your point, I guess. I agree with that. You're right.
And do you see where I would take from that statement that you were going to spend $181,000 on bailiffs?
Sure.
Okay? And now you stand here in front of me, and I have a security issue I have to deal with because you're reneging on that.
I'm not reneging on anything. I probably will still spend that on bailiffs. You don't understand.
You'll spend that on the people that are bailiffs now. But if you have 3 judges, 3 courtrooms,
Right.
you'll need 3 bailiffs.
That is correct.
And they will not make $60,000 a year.
And don't forget the lieutenant that sits over there and transports the prisoners back and forth for the courts and watches them while they're in the back. In the
Okay, there's 4. That's $45,000 a year. They don't make that now.
Really?
Right, because you're paying the
$36,000.
you're paying the 5 of them $181,000. Now you say
I'm pulling one out.
you're pulling one out and still gonna spend $181,000.
No, I'm not, I'm gonna readjust that when the budget is allowed to be open
Right.
again, to readjust it like we have every year.
But if in November, as you say, you knew this was gonna take place, why didn't you adjust it then?
I presented the budget to you in early December that said, this is what I want, $1.5 million.
Right.
And I did adjust then for my people I was already out of, to bring them in, and to do all the other things I had sworn to do within my capacity. Putting on another detective. They're running 200 and something cases right now. You don't have to believe that, that's fine. But they run over 200 cases right now. They have holding on felony cases only, is all my detectives do. Now, the majority of those are probably sex abuse cases.
My point is, you submitted
My
that
point is I
budget in
submitted
November.
1.5, that's exactly right.
In November.
I didn't get my 1.5.
No, we said, come back at this number,
Yes, you did.
minus the 250. You adjusted it again. And then you said, can we have another 47 or 49,000? We said no. You adjusted it again.
No, I did not, sir. We stood right here, you said no. That's the adjustments I'm making right now.
Okay, but you said, if I don't get that, I'm gonna have to make adjustments.
Yes.
And we said, okay, that's the number. What do you have? But through all of that conversation,
Twice I brought up the security in the courthouse, in the Justice Center,
Then you
not the courthouse.
but you still present the same number as you presented last
I didn't get
year.
a chance to redo that. You told me the day before, I believe it was, maybe it was two, but the day before, I think, that is the number I'm gonna have to stick with. I was here on January 3rd, if I remember correctly.
So 49,000 would have healed all this?
49,000 would have bought me another deputy that I could put on the street, and I wouldn't have to pull one out of the Justice Center, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you all along. I'm pulling one officer out of the Justice Center. That's it. You keep going on about these bailiffs and everything else. They're still available.
So there will be front door security to some
No,
extent?
sir. There will not be. How can I do that if I have 3 courts and I have 3 bailiffs?
Well, you have 5 now and you do it.
I
And
have,
you're gonna say, and now you say you have 4 and you can't do it? You're doing it with 5 now, right?
I'm doing it with 4 bailiffs. The last one is a lieutenant that
Okay.
actually does his.
Okay, you have
Other
five people over there in the Justice Center.
I have one part-time and over at my place, one part-time over at the Justice Center. 3 bailiffs, and what we will call, I guess, 1 security guy. That was tacked onto the bailiffs also. The security guy is gonna be gone. If I have 3 people in court, because 3 judges are seated, which happens quite often,
Right.
believe it or not, and prisoners in the court, I have no one available for the front door if I pull 1 man.
Okay, so you tell me I need to hire 1 person to
No,
man.
I'm telling you, if you want court security, you're gonna have to work it the way that they did. If they weren't in court, they were at the front desk. 1 guy was roving, 1 guy stayed at the front at all times. Sometimes there were 2 because they've already done their rove.
So you're gonna tell me, what, if the bailiff is not sitting in with the judge,
He will be serving, we'll go over this one more time. 2 of those will be serving papers, which is my legal responsibility under the statutes. And
one's
one
gonna
of
be over in
them
the front?
will be over in the front, either doing lobby calls, answering phone calls, or whatever else needs to be done to do reports. The IN verification, whatever this 3,859 calls were that were lobby calls last year.
So I need to replace 3 people, 4 people,
Sir, I'm
5.
not telling you what you need to replace. I am really not telling you that at all.
Well, you just told me that if I was gonna do it, I had to do it the way they're doing it now.
I'm just telling you the way they're doing it.
Okay, they're doing it 5 people now.
You have to work 40 hours a week is what you have to work.
Right.
Maybe 45.
Okay, 5 people, that's gonna set me back $180,000.
You pay what my deputies are getting paid, I guess
Well, they
you
have to be
would.
post-certified.
Okay?
It's gonna cost me $180,000 because you didn't get 47,
49, but yes.
49.
And here again, I'm gonna try to make this as easy as I can. 1 deputy is being pulled out of security to go to the road. All right, now I think we're beating this horse to death a little more. The other 3 will be available for bailiff duties, which they will probably be there most of the time.
Right,
They will not be at the front door.
right.
Commissioner, can I say something?
Whenever I have 3 officers, 3 bailiffs, 3 courts, there's gonna be prisoners back there, so that guy's out.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking 3 bailiffs. I don't understand your questioning then. It's not
My
up to me to
questioning is,
decide what
when I set this
40
budget,
hours
I didn't have to spend a penny for court security. I don't give you 47, and now I have to come up with 180. How is it that you're gonna pull it off for 47, and it's gonna cost me
I've
180?
already told you that, if you would've given me that, I could keep that guy there, because I can hire the guy from the
I
other for
understand the one,
49.
but what about the other guys that are mysterious, all
They
of a sudden,
can't, they cannot,
need-
okay, so here's the scenario. I have 3 courts going on. The one guy has prisoners, he's not moving. The other 3 are in the courts, being bailiffs, as they should by law. I have people coming in and out of the door left and right, okay? Now, one court gets over and he goes up front. What good is that? What good is that? The integrity of the building is already gone. There's nobody there while they're all in court.
the way it is now.
No, the way it will be. There's nobody up front.
Commissioner, I think that the issue is, if the commission staffs someone at the door, the bailiffs will maintain the courtrooms as they always have. The only difference is we won't have someone at the door. I think the sheriff's position is if there's no one at the door during court because the bailiffs are all in other courtrooms, that compromises the integrity of our safety and the building itself. So if there's one person hired, or in truth, probably 1.5 people to sit at the door, the bailiffs that the sheriff already provides will maintain the security in those courtrooms when the judge is sitting. It's mainly the security coming through the door. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So then when those bailiffs are finished with their jobs, they'll go out and do the jobs that the sheriff has them doing, the different jobs. We'll still maintain, hopefully, someone at the door. It probably would take 2 people, and I arguably would say not at the same rate of pay, but 2 people at that door and allowing people to rove if they need to, or to go to the bathroom or take lunch or whatever the case may be. But I certainly don't think it's a $180,000 situation.
I do want to give you some statistics at the Justice Center though, because I agree. I wholeheartedly agree there should be security there. And I'd like to be able to provide that, but I can't justify putting 4 there and not 4 on the street. So, number of visitors last year, 81,767 at the Justice Center. Number of courts, 561 courts. Number of inmates going to court, 1,222. There were 407 used the video arraignment, so we didn't have to bring them to court. Criminal cases were 258, civil were 202, traffic was 46, and juvenile was 46. That's the amount of cases. There were 21 juries. They worked 245 days out of the year. Number of arrests were 164. They issued 4 summonses. They made 10 field arrests, 154 court arrests, and 1 probable cause arrest. Weapons discovered at the front door, 288. So, yeah, I do believe. I believe that there should be security. I'd like to be able to provide that security, but without the addition, I have to make the decision of use the deputy at either the security or out on the road. And at this point in time, I'm putting him on the road. Now, I will compromise with you on one thing, and one thing only, so far as I see today. As of February 1, yes, that's when it was decided. I will keep them until March 1 at the Justice Center doing the security. I'll take that upon my budget and keep them there. But March 1, I'm going to pull the security. Now you have 30-something days notice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm willing to work with you. I was willing to work with you in November and in December and in January.
My point is, the 47,000, 49, let's call it 50,000, I like round numbers, created a chain reaction. You needed to, okay, you had to move him over to the patrol division. That accounts for the $50,000. But
Correct.
now, the remaining security people, bailiffs, whatever you want to call them, the remaining 4 people out of the 5.
You can't count the 1. You can only count
Okay.
the 3. The 1 is, his job is to move
Okay,
prisoners.
the remaining people, the people that I